Hey, Grace Meridian Hill family, man, I'm tired today. Maybe you are too. So I'm turning together with you to Romans 8, verse 32, looking for some strength and encouragement. Can we do that together? Let me read it for us first. He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give us all things? So here's a crucial question. How can you be sure that God will give you what you really need? How can you be sure? Here's how this verse answers that question. Look at Jesus. God has already given you in him his greatest and most precious possession, the priceless life of his very own son. He did not spare, did not withhold him. Your God does not hold back from you. Giving is what God does. Giving is who God is. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. And this he did to meet our greatest need, our alienation from God, our moral debt to God, our condemnation in the courtroom of God because of our sin and selfishness. This God did, his Son he gave because of his love. So here's the logic of this verse. God has already given you his greatest possession to meet your greatest need. So don't you believe he's going to give these smaller things to meet your still important but smaller than ultimate needs? Why do you think God is going to suddenly stop taking care of you now? Calvin said this verse presents Christ to us as a pledge of God's infinite love. John Stott put it this way: in giving his Son, he gave everything. The cross is the guarantee of the continuing, unfailing generosity of God. Do you know why this is important? During a season of hardship like the one we're in, one of our greatest temptations and fatal mistakes is to try to judge God's love for us based on our circumstances. This is how much God loves me. Of course, what happens to us in real time, in real life, is part of God's fatherly care. But we can't always accurately interpret God's purposes, his intentions, his heart behind our circumstances, can we? Romans 8:32 here gives us something far more reliable. The rock solid proof of God's love in the face of Christ and in the cross of Christ. How can I be sure that God will give us what we really need today, this week, this month? Look at Jesus, dear friends. He who did not spare his own son, but gave him up for you, how will he not also, along with him, graciously give me all things? Have a great day today, brothers and sisters, living in light of God's infinite, proven love.